You can put a little more than a cup of water.
Is that warm water, cold water?
Cold water. You don't want hot water for the dough will stick. Okay, we'll break the eggs. I usually put 4 in. It'll make about, well, how many potatoes you feel? See, I don't measure. 8's in. Water, cup of water. Half a cup of oil. Put about just a little more than a tablespoon.
And I thought you didn't measure.
Oh, well, not my flour and potatoes would I? Put these in the refrigerator. There's another dozen there, you just... Right to your left, there's a container on there, just... Oh, and tomorrow Nick comes, and I just keep adding the flour. Look at the fire hall. We have a great big cup. When we first started it out, everything was by hand. The dough, no electric mixer, nothing. A whisk thing. And
Whisk until you couldn't whisk anymore than get a wooden spoon or something? Or
the what?
whisk until you couldn't get it through anymore than get a wooden spoon?
I
or
know.
what?
See, I do it with this regular beater to get it just, then I change to the hooks. When it starts crawling up. See, that's why I get up early in the morning and get my dough ready while the potatoes are boiling.
Well, thank you for waiting, you know.
Oh, no problem. Gonna start crawling up pretty soon. There we go.
Wow, that happens quick, doesn't it?
So do you have any idea about how much flour you put in there?
Well, not quite 5 pounds.
Oh, okay. So you'll use a whole bag of flour in this.
Yeah. It'll take a lot more yet before we're finished.
So how many pierogies will this make?
A little over 5 dozen.
Oh, okay. So it's a lot of work for a dozen of pierogies.
It is. It takes, it's time consuming, you know?
Uh-huh.
But for me, it's good pastime. I get up in the morning.
So you've now switched to your dough hooks.
Yeah. just keep adding flour.
Have you ever used like a big stand mixer, like the big mixers on a stand?
That's what we have up at the church.
Oh, okay.
That's what we have up at the church. Even now we have the pizza that rolls out the dough. I used to do all of that by hand up there when we first started.
Yeah, but it's still a lot quicker than doing it by hand, right?
Oh yeah. Now up at the church, my daughter, Tuesday they go up to peel potatoes. While they're doing that, she makes the dough, about maybe 10 batches, but she puts 12 eggs in it.
Wow.
Makes a double batch. But with the big machine you could. Then they put them in these plastic containers like I have there, put oil on top and refrigerate it. So in the morning they have that all to start with.
So for a double batch, it's like almost more, like instead of 4 eggs.
Oh yeah, you put
6.
12 eggs in.
Oh, okay.
2 cups of water, I think, and a cup of oil.
I was gonna say, I don't have those hook things, I don't think.
But you have a dough hook on your stand mixer. The one that's like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess you would just use that one,
Yeah.
the stand mixer? If there's anything we can do, you know you can just boss this around, right?
So how did you learn to make pierogies?
From the recipes. I never remember my mother making them. I don't, as far as I know, I just learned from the... We've been doing this now, what it's going to be, 19 years up to church we started.
Now, where was your recipe originally from? Like, who kind of, was it
Polish.
just up at the church, or?
I have a Polish cookbook. Some of them make with sour cream, the dough.
I made dough once with sour cream. The
Instead of
recipe I
putting
found
oil.
online.
Instead of putting oil in. Now the one I have, there's with yeast.
Oh,
I never tried it.
So at all, you think this one's the best, though?
Yeah. My pierogis have been in Idaho, Oregon, all over.
So you didn't have someone to teach you the art,
No.
the secrets?
No, from the recipe.
Huh.
Yeah. I don't remember my grandma making them. And my mom was 2 years old when she came from Poland. So, but I never saw her making them.
What made you decide to try making them?
I have no idea. I just try to make them and it's nice. For our Christmas Eve, I made 3 dozen.
I bet there's not any leftovers either.
No. This is the kneading part.
No, this is almost the consistency it looks like of homemade bread about, or?
Yeah, that's...
Mom makes really good homemade bread.
My mother used to make bread. That's when I learned. I was 12 years old. My mother was giving birth because she had all her children at home. And right by her bedside, she's telling me what to put in. And I made bread. That's one thing I learned with the bread, but I never saw her make pierogies.
So the first time that you made them, did they turn out good?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I actually tried making them one time and it didn't turn out. It didn't work.
Didn't work?
No. I probably didn't have enough patience.
What was it with the dough?
Yeah, the dough, it was just really hard to roll out, and then they didn't seal well, so.
Yeah, you don't want to roll it out too thin because then, like when you put the potato in, they don't open up. And when you put the potato in the cookie, you got to make sure the potatoes isn't sticking out because they won't. They'll open up when you boil them.
I think my husband wanted me to put too much filling in them.
Yeah. Well, you'd have to have a bigger cookie cutter to make big cookies.
So how do you know when you've kneaded it enough?
And it don't stick to your hands.
So all the way through it doesn't stick to your hands. So if you
Yeah. She's
Well, even
still,
when you
still
stab-
a little sticky.
so when you stab in, it'll still stick. So then it's going to be a little bit more dry than homemade bread, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, homemade bread, when you make it, then you put it where it's warm so it rises up. See, it's still sticky. That you could put on the cover. I just open it up to throw the shells in. This, with all the people up at the church, my daughter makes the dough. When she takes it out of the machine, she has to knead it. I said, at least if one of them went over and help her knead it. You know, when you make 30 batches of
Oh my
No.
gosh, that's unreal.
her back and her legs,
Well, no, 30 batches of double batch, right?
right?
Of at least, wow.
So how many pierogies does it make? Like when you do it for the church, how many dozen pierogies do you make?
It should make at least almost 20. 20 dozen, not 20 people.
Yeah, no.
Wow.
We usually make, like 500 a week. We used to make them every week
Oh, gee.
during Lent, but now we cut it down to 3 times, I think.
Jeez. Man, oh man.
So
And then do you
it's
sell
still-
them at the church, or
They
the church
take
sells them?
orders. They take orders.
Do
When
you
we
want
made 'em-
Wendy to help knead?
What?
Do you want Wendy or Valerie to help knead?
If they want to learn,
Sure. All right.
if it starts sticking in your hand a little bit,
Well, it already is.
yeah, that's what I
Okay,
said. Add a
so
little
just-
flour.
Is that too much?
No, just it'll absorb it. It's time consuming.
Now, when I'm noticing when I'm kneading it, I'm kind of folding it over. Am I supposed to keep all of it in one direction, or doesn't it matter?
Just no, fold it
So
over.
I can turn
right,
it?
right.
Okay.
See, it picks up all the flour yet.
Yeah. And then you can still feel it's getting pretty sticky.
Right.
It's really, really like velvety smooth. I feel of it.
You'll probably get in there pretty soon.
So you didn't think those were too oniony tasting?
What's that?
You didn't think they were too oniony tasting?
No, no.
They're good? Okay.
So in that bowl was 5 pounds of potatoes.
No, not quite.
Not quite 5 pounds of potatoes. A package of extra
Cheddar
sharp cheddar,
Cracker Barrel extra sharp cheddar,
and about a half of a cup of onion chopped
Onions,
fine.
yeah.
onions, and then mix together about
Some butter too.
about a half a stick of butter.
Yeah.
So how big are we rolling these?
Just like these.
Sounds good.
Then if they're too small, if you make them too small, I just take another dab out of the plate. And
Is that the right size?
that's funny.
Is that too big?
A little bit, maybe. Well, while you're filling in the cookie, you think it's too big, you can take a nip off, you know.
Here, you want to touch this dough and tell me if it's still too sticky? Or is that
A
good?
little bit more.
Okay.
Put some more flour on the table. Sometimes, you buy potatoes, they're awful watery. So what I have, instant potato, you put a little bit in that to thicken it up.
Okay.
These are rolling pretty good. I like to roll them when they're cold. They do real good. Usually sometimes I don't roll them, I just take a teaspoon and put it in the cookie. But with the balls, it's easier. That's what we do up at the church. They boil the potatoes early in the morning, and then they put them on big platters and cook them. About 58 platters of balls.
So they cook the balls first?
No, they
The
cook
potatoes like
cook
you
the
do.
potatoes first and make them into balls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then while we got the balls made, then they start making the cookies. Then some of the ladies will start filling them up.
So how many people do you have helping?
About 35.
Wow.
We get a crowd out. Everybody wants to learn how to make pierogis. Even men come out.
Well, that's the best way to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would much rather learn on this scale though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to learn on that kind of scale because then the recipe is going to make a whole lot more than Pete and I can eat.
Yeah, but see, like some of them up there, they have one that making the dough, the cookies, cutting them out, and then some of them start filling. We have one that's cooking them. You'd have to be at each table to see what they're doing.
Yeah. Rotate
I
through.
think that looks pretty good.
All right.
Can I do that?
Yeah, let me just make sure that it's all even all the way through.
Now that actually looks very silky. The dough looks real smooth and silky.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
is.
does feel real.
It's How many
Yeah, it's
potatoes
not-
did you peel in here?
Well,
Yeah,
I
that's
peeled
good.
them
Good.
all,
You
but
wanna
then
feel it, Wendy?
yeah.
Oh, you don't need the
Well,
flour.
I just
probably.
well, my here a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit wet. Okay, and that's not still too sticky.
Shouldn't be. Yeah, that is still a little
A
bit.
little too sticky yet?
Can I feel it?
No.
Little sticky.
Yeah, see, that doesn't stick to my hands, but I've got cold hands.
Well, it's still like tacky, not like sticky, but tacky maybe. See, the truth of the matter is I needed to make sure I brought them along because I don't really cook much. Okay, they really
Well, when
love
you
cooking.
get your new kitchen, that nice counter you're going to have will be perfect for making pierogies on.
Perfect for all sorts of stuff.
How many potatoes you got peeled here?
Probably this is like 4 pounds maybe. I'm guessing. Would that sound right?
It'll make
4.
Like I said, I just take my pot and fill it up and boil it.
Because we still had a couple extra that I knew you said not quite 5 pounds, but I had peeled and cut up 5 pounds and cooked them, but
What, you peeled them?
no, Val had. Sorry.
Oh.
I
Well,
peeled
they
them.
don't-
She cut them
I-
up.
Oh, I peeled them, I cut them, I did it
No.
all.
We had.
Valerie peeled
Val
them,
peeled them.
you cut them, and I washed dishes.
Yeah. Hey, I did the dishes afterwards. I did the.
You washed the one last pot?
No, I washed the mixing bowl, the thingy things.
Oh, okay.
I put the cutting board in the dishwasher.
It almost feels stickier now after I add it more.
So now there's no salt or pepper in the potatoes. Do you usually put
I
salt in
put
them?
some little salt in the potato.
Oh, she didn't put any
Okay.
salt in.
Up at the church, they put, sometimes they put little garlic powder and white pepper.
Ooh, white pepper.
Yeah.
Ooh, white pepper.
Well, the
sounds-
black ones will show they think there's some dirt in them.
Yeah.
So what?
When you twist it,
Oh,
it's
she's
just a-
breaking them apart.
Just getting apart the two.
Okay, and I see you covered the rest of the dough with plastic.
Yeah, so don't dry out.
And you took
Okay.
what, about a third of that? That was about a third of that?
Oh no. A lot less than a third.
Corner maybe. Quarter.
You just spread it out so it'll be easier to roll. Here's my rolling pin on the stove.
Doesn't roll very easy, does it?
Oh no, when we were up at the church, my face would be so red. Everybody's hollering for cookies. I says, get up here and roll, but nobody moved.
That's what happens when you're the pro. They want you to do
Right.
it all.
Yeah, it's really elastic. You know. It's,
Well, all that kneading.
You want to feel how you don't want to make it too.
Okay. Finish that one. So that's about as.
Okay.
See, if
yeah.
you make
okay.
it too thin, then all you do, I use the.
And it doesn't really matter what size you use. Like you can use.
Well,
a bigger
if you
pudding-
want them bigger. See, if it's this thick, it's easier. You put the ball in here, you can push the ball down. You want to give me one? You just push it down like that. Make sure that ends meet, see?
And you don't have to wet the edges at all or anything.
I don't do it. Some people do. And some people with the fork will kind of do it. But I make a batch. And then before I boil them,
You make
I
sure.
repinch them again to make sure. See that? When I'm here, I cut out about 3 dozen cookies, and then I sit down and start filling them.
So I should get the potato off my hand then.
Yeah, oh yeah. There it is. And if there's any dough left, I usually put it in. After a while, mix it in with this one. You just take a hunk off, you know. Okay. And just
So that made 8 of them. That little hunk made 8 pierogies.
Yeah.
And it took 30 minutes to make the dough.
Oh yeah, that's why I do it early in the morning. I get it. Could you hand the plate of potatoes? We could start while she's doing that. Over here. That's great.
Now this is a pierogi party, right?
Right.
Okay, so you
Put them all in and, just press it in.
Yeah, you would think that ball would be way too big. It looks like it's
No,
too...
it fit right in, and then just
start pinching. Well, there's a lot of give to the dough. So you can...
And if you got it that it won't close up, just dip your fingers in the flour and it'll close up.
I've got a funny shaped one there. Oh, I guess I'm out of. So then knead this back up.
Yeah, put it, I think I got another batch there. Knead it all up together with the other one.
Wait, with all of it? Or?
All of it, yeah.
So knead this back together.
Yeah, because if you do just a little bit, it kind of hardens up.
Am I doing okay? Does that look like...
We're going to repinch them after, before we boil them. I noticed on the TV they were showing some churches, they dipped their fingers in water to close them up. I never did. Only when I make them with cabbage, I got to make sure the cabbage is all dry like, because you wet the dough, you can't close it up.
See, now that one doesn't want to close on you, does it?
No, so you just have to work with it. Sometimes you want, if it's too thick on the corner, just with your fingers like that.
See, now I got this one over here. So coming up.
I like to do them on Saturday because you got the Polish music on from 9 to 12 o'clock. It seems
Give
you
you a
work
little
better with
inspiration.
music. Well, we had the radio and stuff up at the church, but everybody talking, we couldn't hear it. So we didn't bother. I'm repinching them so we could start boiling them.
Is the water on or?
No, you can turn it on. I think it's the one in it says front in the back.
Yeah.
So just cook that one. Stop.
When the water boils, you put your pierogies in. You wait till they come to the top and you boil them about a minute or so. You take them out and put them in cold water to cool them off. Then I put them on the cloth over there to dry them off.
Okay, so we put about a tablespoon of oil into the pot.
Yeah,
The boiling water?
teaspoon.
A teaspoon.
Just so they don't stick on the bottom when they're boiling.
How's this good?
Oh, you got a little more dough here. That's good.
Does this feel okay?
Oh, that's fine. You gotta press down on it. If you get a sharper cutter, it would probably help. Oh, here's the water boiling.
So these are just the ones that were pinched the second time.
Yeah, these are the ones, these have to be redone. You put them in the water. I put a dozen in at a time with a big pot like that. Hoping they don't break. Then just stir it up a little bit so that don't there. Now they don't have to boil up again. The only thing you want to boiling, sometimes the water gets too hot, start boiling, and turn the burner down a little bit.
Okay. So you want it almost like it, just like a simmer? The water?
No, just
No, it has to boil. You don't want, if it's simmered, then they won't. See, they'll be coming up to the top now pretty soon. See the water, you have to have the water boiling. It takes a while by the time they have to cook a little bit because your dough will be raw. You don't want to eat raw.
So now, once these are cooked, what do you have to do before you eat them?
I put them in cold water now to cool them off, and then I put them on that cloth to dry out. See, what I do, I put mine on these big cookie sheets, not this one. And I put them in the freezer. Then the next day I put them in the plastic bags. Because if you're going to take them home, we'll have to roll it in oil, put a little oil on them, and pack them in your containers
And then,
so they don't stick.
so to eat them, what do you have to do before you can actually eat them?
Well, if they're not frozen, they're already cooked. You saute your onions and put them in the frying pan just to brown them up a little bit if you want, and that's it.
Okay.
A lot of them put them in the oven.
Oh.
You know, put the saute the onions. Now, like for Christmas, I made 3 dozen or what? I had that all in a great big container like you have here, and put it in the oven to keep it warm. You cook it and keep it warm.
Oh, okay.
That's all you do. They taste good with onions in them. You know, saute the onions, put them over the pierogis.
So you saute the onions in butter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or some people do it in olive oil. Now my daughter from New Jersey that left, everything is olive oil. See, they're coming up to the top. There's one coming up. When they all come up to top, let them boil a minute.
How long after they come up to the top?
Just about a minute or so. Not long. Because they're cooking good. See, when they're cooked and then they come to the top.
This has to make for incredibly entertaining footage.
The what?
This has to make for a great video.
Oh, yeah.
Oop. Second one.
There we
go.
They'll all come up to the
See,
top.
now it's getting interesting.
Yeah. Here comes another one. There, the two of them, see?
Oh, and another one's coming. I
They'll
think
all come to the
one
top.
in the middle is coming soon.
Yeah, they'll all come to the top.
This is exciting.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You'll have to let me know how you make out at home when you make them.
Do you have you ever put the dough through a pasta machine? to roll
That's
it
what
out?
they have. It's a
Ah.
pizza. The restaurant was selling out, and it was a pizza dough thing.
Oh, so you can do a big roll, big
Oh,
thing
big,
like that.
yeah. And it
Ah.
goes right on the table, and then they have just cutters.
Oh, so they don't do this.
Oh, no, they don't. I did it from the beginning.
Oh.
I did it from the beginning,
And
yeah.
when they had to start helping, then they found a machine to
Right.
do it.
That nobody wanted to roll.
So now that they're all up,
Now they're all up. Just dish them out. Well, none of these broke.
Ah, good, very good then.
There you go. Then we put them in cold water. Let them cool off. I put it usually about 2 or 3 dozen.
and you just let them sit there for a while?
Yeah, till we get another batch in there. We'll start pinching these over so we continue boiling them.
And then they'll all just sink?
What's that?
They all just sink?
Yeah, they sink down, yeah. See, up church, they have a big tub like, and up there so many pierogis, they have big blocks of ice that they put in the cold water so the water be cold. That looks pretty good, right there a little bit. There you go. No, that's what I said. I used to roll them by hand up there. My face would be so red, they thought I was getting a heart attack. Then they have a lady, after they're cooled, they roll them in the oil a little bit and put them in a dozen in like the plastic bags when they sell them. Then they know what to do. But each one has a different job that they work at.
So how much did they sell the pierogies for at the church?
$5. When we first started, they were selling them only for $2 and a half. And now with all the price of the potatoes and the flour, down in
I was
Scranton,
gonna say
somebody
still-
said they were charging $6.
Well, it's only 50 cents a piece. That's a bargain, and not have to do it on your own.
I make my own. I don't buy any up there. What you call?
Now we've got those all in. That's 2 dozen in there.
Yeah.
Do we put them over on that,
So these bottles are the flavored regular milk.
You're gonna run out of
No, I
what?
don't think so.
should we,
Because we could make
Go to put 'em over.
lactate though.
No, just make them all. I'll take them.
oh, you
Drained
just
them.
toss them in there? Okay.
Yeah, drained them.
No, I think that, I think it's
Then we'll put them over
I just felt crappy the
on
whole
the
thing
cloth
was
just to
there.
dry them off
Stress?
a little
No,
bit.
because it really wasn't that bad. Oh, okay. She was.
So you're just putting them on there, you,
To dry them off, I put a cloth on top because we'll have to put them in little. Because if you put them wet on your cookie sheet to freeze them,
will stick to it, right?
yeah, they will be too much ice.
So if you want a pet, adopt. And if you see Randy, tell him he dropped his wallet.
Introducing Wendy's Spicy Chicken Nuggets. All white meat, seasoned with peppers and savory spices. But the real kick